Interview happening in three, two, one. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Pleasure to be here. We have another special interview with Team Ambrosia. Emphasis on the bro, as one of them requested. I can't deny it. I love a good pun. I'm joined here by Lumini and Waifu-chan. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good today. How about you, man?
I'm doing all right. Obviously, a little bit tired from work, but gotta do what you gotta do for the sake of this. And honestly, it's all for the love of the game. I love Monster Hunter, though. Kinda. Well, actually, I'll save that for my second question. But first question, the easiest one is, yeah, what's the team name origin for Ambrosia aside from the pun?
So, admittedly, I was trying to come up with a bunch of different unique names that I thought kind of exemplified me and waifu. And I thought to myself, all right, so how I came up with my name originally is supposed to be more of a combination of the word small light. And then
Mm.
as for waifu's just such a sweet guy. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, what's something that's really, really sweet? Probably something that's kind of light. And then it kind of hit me. Like
Mm.
in the ancient myths, you had the Ambrosia that was supposed to be absolutely awesome with all these wonderful qualities. So I'm like, that's got to be it. Ambrosia. And then my wife is like, you should emphasize the bros part in Ambrosia.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, you're a genius. And
Uh,
then I pitched
Yeah,
it to waifu.
and I just really liked it, and I thought all the same stuff like that ancient mythology stuff. That was pretty cool.
I love it. Honestly, yeah. When I first looked at that team, I was like, yeah, there's a story there. That's inspired. It's a good wordplay pun, but it's also like, why that word in particular? And yeah, I could tell. Definitely with intent. It's really good. But I guess to generally break the ice here, so I won't lie. I'm a bit of a casual player. I'm not exactly a speedrunner. I've just played with friends, and the game has so much to grind for in any game in the series. But when it comes to this stuff, are you guys actively pursuing speedrunning, or did you just want to join the event and you just like playing the game as is and just wanted to try it out? Just curious what your history is.
I have a YouTube channel dedicated to speedrun, and I upload there sometimes, and I actively speedrun. So always grinding for times, trying to get lower, beat my own times, because honestly, not too many people play, but I do like the competition. That's why I joined the tournament.
Hmm.
And then as for me, I'm gonna say at this point I'm a semi-active runner. My wife always jokes about me saying that I'm going to retire, and the next thing she knows it, like 2 weeks later, I've uploaded another run onto my channel. Um, but if anything like waifu, I just have a fierce love for the series. I got a fierce love for the speedrunning scene, so much so that I've quote unquote infiltrated the ranks of some mod teams for some leaderboards, like the ones on speedrun.com
Oh wow.
or Monster Hunter Rise with Jaw Bagel and Greenspeed,
Hmm.
as well as helping to moderate the big freestyle leaderboard on mhrspeedrun.com, where a lot of people used to be posting there quite often before the game finally kind of settled down for a while.
Hmm. Okay, so you're definitely seasoned. Both of you got experience, but then I'm curious as a casual player who's never taken that leap. What I guess I don't wait to follow up to this, but what made you guys go into speedrunning in particular? Was it maybe just wanting to get really good at the weapon you prefer? Was it just, I don't know. I know for some people it could be like a monster that they struggle with until they finally learn the patterns and that set them off to just keep going, keep improving, keep being efficient at it. Maybe it's also just like you were briefly talking about the speedrunning community itself, just getting to know some other people. Was there any particular reason you guys wanted to go into it per se?
Yeah, so I played a lot of base Rise when it came out, grinded for a lot of materials, had like almost everything. and I saw a Team Darkside video, and then
Yes.
I just thought, oh, I kind of want to replicate this, so I ended up doing it, getting a similar time, and just the adrenaline of getting like quote unquote the run is it's pretty cool. So um, yeah, that's why I keep going and started.
I don't blame you. Dark Side was that was my first exposure on YouTube. I think one of my friends showed me just one of the insane Hame runs they did. We were just trying to grind something more efficient, and it just showed me the busted stuff that was possible. I wasn't even thinking about. Though obviously not to you know, if you had anything else, Lumini, I just want to make sure.
See, for me, what kind of got me into it is that I remember. So first, it started off where I was super, super casual, and on my YouTube notifications, because I started watching Monster Hunter content, I finally saw some runs from Cantor Rex and Kanta Perme, and I remember watching those. I'm like, wow, that's really freaking awesome. I want to get that good someday. And then I let that thought get in the back burner. And then Monster Hunter Generations came out on the 3DS. And after grinding for a while, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to actually start pursuing speedrunning, because I was on a Monster Hunter Amino back then when everybody was advertising for Amino.
Hmm.
And there was like some occasional leaderboards going on that little side. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to actually start doing this. And so I started grinding down the times for like Hyper Raytheon with Sword and Shield, and then Zamtrios with Dual Blades. And after getting a really, really proud time, I broke my 3DS. And
Wait,
so
like once you saw the time and you saw it was world record, like what?
no,
I
it
just
wasn't
I'm
world
curious about
record.
that.
It was at least like I got to pretty close to third place, because from what I remember, the time I had gotten on Zamtrios was like a 202 or something like that, and I was like super stoked about it. And well, a couple days later, I broke my 3DS, and so I played no Monster Hunter until Monster Hunter World came out, and I'm like, all right, the
Hmm.
PlayStation's got a recording feature. This is where
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
that'd be
start.
huge.
So Monster Hunter World is where I would say I officially actually began my speedrunning journey.
God, that's amazing. I didn't even think about that feature being a selling point for a lot of speedrunners. You could actually highlight it without needing like a capture card. God,
Yeah.
it's nuts how that goes. I feel you on the 3DS stuff, because my mistake was buying Smash Bros on 3DS and trying to play that with a circle pad, and yeah, no, that thing came off. It's not great.
I never got to
Um,
that point yet.
Yeah, no, it's they tried it. They tried it. But moving along then, I'm curious between the both of you. Is there one of you in particular that's let's say more of the risk taker, or the one that's, you know, more so planning everything and following the script before you go for the run? I guess, yeah, do you guys like balance that sort of like instinctual versus like planned you know, method of attack for these?
I feel like
That's a good
actually,
question.
Lumini, you can go first on this. Yeah.
I don't know. I think you should answer first, because I don't know how
So
to answer this outright.
I do practice a lot, and of course we practiced a lot together. But I've been grinding down some of these quests times solo, and I've gotten some pretty alright times. And so I feel like I know when to take the risks.
Hmm.
So I like taking the calculated risk, I guess. It's not really scripted or as scripted as normal individual level runs I would do, but there is like a flow to it, so
Hmm.
uh kind of it's a calculated risk, like I said.
I
And to
get you.
kind of piggyback off of waifu on that, I'm also kind of the same way. I'm not exactly very, very big into planning. Um, and I will say for sure, waifu's practiced a lot more than I have. But for the most part, I just really, really try super hard to make the observations while we are practicing our runs,
Hmm.
and just kind of feel it out accordingly. because waifu could probably tell you in a good, and at least the Astalos run, I think. Like, I'll generally have some instinctual know when that monster is ready to be captured.
Yeah, even before the skill pops up, that tells you it's weak. Impressive
Yeah.
stuff.
That's
But
up on it.
otherwise,
Oh, sorry.
my style is like I just throw myself against the wall, I fail epically, and then I just adjust it from there. So honestly, it's actually kind of funny because it reminds me of when like people started posting their like first clears of every single monster or whatever. I'm like, man, they're pretty good. And here I am, I throw myself against the wall and I got like a 30-minute clear. And it won't be a little while before I actually make my way down to like the sub 2, sub 3s. Just because I'm throwing myself at the wall.
Yeah, I relate to that. I mean, even with me playing Monster Hunter when I first started, it's just learning the rolling windows. Just when more so like the patterns that the monster AI has, it takes a while to get used to that, especially if you're starting off with this series. But I guess, trying to think of what's, yeah, I guess that would be the go-to one. Obviously there's a select few quests for this event, but in general, when it comes to these, do you guys have a sort of, I guess for lack of a better word, just like a sort of like arch enemy or arch nemesis, or like a sort of wall where it's like, no matter how many times you have to fight this monster, you just don't look forward to it. There's always something that bugs you about it, or something in the scripting, or something that just never goes as planned. Anything that you guys consider your least favorite?
Tigrex.
Yeah, least favorite also for me, Tigrex. Yeah, because I tend to play bow on that quest and it's pierce, so it's a little difficult to hit its face and then down its body for that perfect line, but it's doable.
And then for me, like on that quest, I play dual blades, and for the most part, dual blades is rather forgiving on that quest. But my biggest issue is his hitboxes because of the slopey area that you're in. Some attacks that you should be able to counter ends up whiffing you because it goes over your head because you're on a downward slope. And then other attacks, they end up getting you just because of the upward slope sometimes. Or like you think he's about to like jump 1,000 miles and he ends up not doing so because the upward slope prevents him from going all the way. Just like little things like that. It's like, damn, this guy. And of course, like, you gotta wait for him to stop running.
Yeah.
Diablos, though, we bully him. We bully Diablos every day.
Oh yeah, it's I
Deserved.
speedran a lot of Diablos with bows, so especially Pierce bow, so it was kind of second nature.
And like for me, I used to speedrun Diablos a lot back in base world, so it's like, all right, yeah, whatever.
Though kind of a follow-up to that, though, just as a general thing. So obviously with the quest system, there's loadouts and set amount of weapons, but I guess depending, because I know you guys have a lot more experience, are there weapons that you still tend to prefer, or do you just go based off the item loadouts, or is it maybe like, your partner picks this weapon, so you will fall back on another one? How do you guys go about selecting, weapon choices or loadout, if you will?
For me, it's more about which one I'm more familiar with. I honestly rarely look at the item loadout. Sometimes I forget about that until I'm actually in the quest, and I'm like, oh, I have this. Yeah, and yeah, so, and the switch skill loadout as well, if I'm familiar with them, and then yeah, more like my favorite weapons I pick, sort of.
Yeah, I'm very much of that opinion as well. It's more like I pick what weapon I'm comfortable with, which is why I'm never using ranged weapons at all. Even though they seem really juicy and would probably be the better choice. Cough, cough, Garangolm.
Yeah,
oh my god, yeah,
there.
especially.
But because I'm not very good with bow, I'm not going to use it. Doesn't matter if it's got like 3,000 damage attached to it.
No,
But
no,
that being said, since I'm using the weapons that I'm comfortable with, if it comes with an item, it's a happy surprise.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's like a neat little bonus. I can't blame you on that too. I'm someone who's been hesitant to make the range transition. I'm just so used to melee, but I know at some point I got to. Maybe when Wilds comes out. Though speaking of Monster Hunter Wilds, so this is always just a fun casual question. Obviously, it's coming out next year. I'm pretty sure all of us here can't wait for it. I'm counting the days.
Oh my
But
god.
one of my favorite things, just with friends or anyone else, is if they have a favorite, it's like, okay, who's gonna make it on the list? So, do you guys have a specific monster that you guys always
Tetsukabra.
want to come?
Tetsukabra, hands down.
I do not even blame you. It's been way too long. Yeah.
It
And then
has
they tease
been.
you with Rise as the baby Tetsukabra.
Oh my god, yeah. That drove
Mojo
me
is
nuts. It's like it's
riding.
right there. You're taunting us with this.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, like sometimes with some of my friends, I'm kind of notorious for being the guy who overly loves the frustrating monsters, with the exception of Namiel. Fuck Namiel. But like monsters like Basarios or something that's got like some really stupid gimmick attached to it, I tend to have a soft spot for them. So that being said, I'm also hoping that Gravio shows up because Basarios has been getting too much love.
Hmm.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
Gravia is cooler.
I agree with that.
Kekawaka would be pretty
In my
cool.
opinion.
And give me my darling Moran back, if it's
Ooh.
possible.
That'd be a good one. Yeah. I'm always just
Yeah.
waiting for Brachydios. Nargacuga is my other one, but it's like that's always there. It's like,
I actually hate Nargacuga.
yeah, they're pretty common.
I'm
I
a
was
certified
actually-
Nargacuga hater.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Tetsukabra as well, but since you did, I'm gonna go with the Zamtrios. It's a
Yeah,
formula of
man.
the shark
That's
and
my
the
second.
ice armor.
Yeah, it's been a
Yes,
minute.
and yeah, the transformation is pretty cool. Like its
There you
whole
go.
moveset. It's nice.
Amphibian Bros.
God, now I want to
Yeah.
see that in Wild's engine. That would be insane. Oh my god, I wish. Ah,
Yeah.
please. But yeah, I guess just in general, when it comes to events like this, do you guys do anything in particular to, I guess, like prepare yourselves? Like, you know, is it dedicate a whole week to the stuff? Maybe just like a day before the tournament? Who knows? Maybe there's that one person that uses their gym playlist when they're trying to grind the hunts, for all we know. Do you guys have anything in particular, like, you know, just to practice? Do you go for maybe like your weak spots, like, okay, this quest is going to be a problem if you don't address it now, and then the other ones you feel good about, or, you know, what's the process, I guess I'm wondering, in general?
So I would say that our process has been, well, first we kind of glazed over all the quests, grinded each quest one by one until we felt pretty good about it, and then we went back for our trouble quests. Because I could definitely tell you for sure, Garangolm, easy S rank. We were very surprised at how simple it was, and we got it to be pretty consistent. And then we just went down the list. So then the next target that we practiced on for quite a while was Nargacuga. I personally still have to practice that some more. And then, of course, scrolling down through the list some more. And then our big target was Kushala, because we're kind of, well, or at least I'm a Kushala hater, even though Zook is swearing by him that he's been improved so much in Rise.
I love to
I'll
hate
have-
I don't like the tornadoes. Yeah,
I'll
they
have
bug
to
me.
admit, he's better in Rise. He's a
Yeah,
lot
I
more
agree.
manageable. Doesn't mean I can't hate him though.
Yeah, World
Um,
was the worst of it, in my opinion, but yeah.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
get me
but
started with
we
like the
ended up,
Iceborne version.
Yeah, we ended up getting a pretty good time on Kushala, though. I was surprised because I didn't really know its moveset, but then Lumini kind of carried and I followed along, and it was fun in the end. But,
If anything, I'm just surprised that we got the time that we did on that one attempt. I was not expecting us to get that low.
I agree.
Yeah, and then this last one is just Tigrex, just because Tigrex is a bit of a booty hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
weird.
I don't think any runner has said I love Tigrex whenever I've seen any of these. It's notorious. I'm sure there's someone out there.
If one of the contestants say that they love Tigrex, let me know and I'll just flame them.
Oh man.
I'll just tell them you're not allowed to post on my leaderboard.
Oh my god. Bye bye, Casti.
Oh, I feel like this might have been answered in the first one, but how did you two meet? Was it just via like I guess I'm just wondering how the team like, formed in the first place.
In base Rise.
Oh my god,
So
yeah.
Lumini was, as he said earlier, a moderator on the srcspeedrun.com leaderboard. And I was posting there after I got inspired to run. And then I forget exactly how we met, but I remember that was like our first encounter, I guess, together, like our interaction.
I would definitely say so. Was me verifying your speedruns. I'm like, man, this guy's going pretty hard with the bow. And I always remember because you posted it on Reddit too. And this
Yep.
man would get flamed for doing good on a monster on Reddit. Because there's an ongoing speedrunner joke that Reddit does not like speedrunners. They don't like people being good at the game.
Interesting. I wasn't familiar.
And it's kind of funny because anytime somebody posts a really good time on a lower tier monster, it always gets discounted because it's a low tier monster.
Of
Or
course.
if you're using something that is perceived as to being really strong, like bow, then it gets discounted because, oh, well, you use bow. It's not impressive at all.
But there are like these niche aspects, of course, that
Yeah, all
some
these
people,
nuances that go into play that they don't consider.
Yep.
And I
exactly.
think my favorite response to a lot of these is like, all right, then do it too. I'm waiting for your post.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
Do
then
it.
show me yours. Yeah.
And they never do. They never follow through because, it's Reddit. They're just talk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's like I'm kind of old school in that sense where I'm used to, even without speedrunning, no hit runs or like doing a challenge of like no
Hell
healing.
yeah.
And it's just it's been there for years. It's yes, you could clear it, but clearing it sometimes might not be enough if you want to be actually mastering, the combat in those games. So I don't know. People will find some weird ways to invalidate it, but yeah, we know it takes a lot of work. I guess the last general question though, I almost want to joke and say, are you gonna be here to win or are you gonna be here to lose? But we already know the answer. You're gonna do great.
We're here to lose.
Yeah.
We're actually here to throw the whole thing.
Just gonna throw in the towel and be like, okay, we're just gonna cart.
Look,
There's
we
our
already-
next 20
No, not
already
even
said
cart, we're
that,
gonna abandon, yeah. It's faster.
See, that's the thing. That's how we lose the Grand Prix. We spend too much time abandoning for good runs because we care too much about what time we get.
Yeah, we were spending time practicing on one quest in our rundown of the list, and it was just like, all right, we abandon, we reset, and I'm afraid that my muscle memory is gonna kick in, and I'm just gonna be in the tournament like, oops, I abandoned. Well,
See, I gotta
We're
teach
gonna
him the
lose.
ways of RTA because I've at least
Yeah.
dabbled in the RTA scene some, so I'm at least used to gauntleting it for like an hour and a half on end. But I will say that when you're given a preset number of quests and you already have your gear in order and you've been practicing IL fashion,
Mhm.
the muscle memory gets the best of you sometimes.
Sure it does.
I can only imagine. But I guess the last general question, just to leave it open to you guys. So for anybody maybe viewing in the chat that doesn't know you guys at all, is there anything you wanted to add? Doesn't really have to be about the game, but just if you wanted them to check your channels out, or what kind of stuff you guys generally do outside of the events once it's over. Just curious.
I mean, I stream on Twitch occasionally, my speedruns, and it is mainly abandons, but it's a fun time. Sometimes I get the run, and it's pretty hype. But yeah,
See, for me, I stream on YouTube on the other hand because I got too lazy about importing videos from Twitch to YouTube.
I'm in that same boat.
Um,
I'm considering it. Oh my god. Yeah.
But that being said, I also speedrun Monster Hunter. Sometimes I dabble in RTA with the no tools percent because I'm too lazy to learn the item routes to get all my traps. So I just kill everything and wait for my 60-second time loss. And I've started dabbling in other things too, like Pokemon Nuzlocke. So I'm doing Pokemon Infinite Fusion Nuzlocke. So if you want to check some of that out in between the speedruns, feel free to. I stream on YouTube, usually on Saturday mornings, whenever I'm awake.
Very cool. Look forward to it. Well, there you have it, folks. That was Team Ambrosia. Lumini, Waifu-chan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's going to do it for me. I'll take it back to the commentators for the next round, but you guys have a good one, and take care. And
See
we
ya.
are free.
Woo!
Nice.